Please, no! 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 No!
You know, guys, before I start today's video, I obviously... nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you gotta have disclaimers, so if you find offense in the things that the Scatmaster says, whether I'm cursing or not cursing, if different opinions offend you to the point that you as a gooch licker get in the comment section typing away because you're mad at pixels on the screen, I should not have this much of a hold over your emotions. But if you're somebody who's highly emotional and, you know, oftentimes incredibly incompetent, look man, this video's not for you, okay? Actually, as a matter of fact, this video is not going to be for very many people because some of the opinions I have, I know for a fact that they strike a chord, okay? Look man, two different corporations, the Gooch Lickers, the fans of Nicki Minaj, and so many other groups of people have tried to get rid of the Scatmaster, but unfortunately it's not happening. But something that is unfortunately happening is the existence of Modern Warfare 2019 Part 4. Even just saying that name is just absolutely rancid because I don't want it to exist, but unfortunately it is. I'm here to explain to you guys exactly why I think that game is bound to fail, and I know it's not out for another few years, but the Call of Duty cycle is bound to get people back on Infinity Ward's side, and when it does, I need people to come back to this video right here, reference this video, and show these gooch slickers exactly why they're wrong as all yeah. YouTube is still trying to grip me by the nuts, but as soon as they let go, oh man, it's over for the gooch slickers when that day comes. But before I go any further, guys, please leave a like on today's video, show YouTube exactly why I do belong here, and also please subscribe if you're new. Down in the comments below, you already know what to put in there. Hashtag Fooly50. We've been making more progress over the last couple of days after this cancellation and censor attempt out of YouTube, so it's really cool to see that. I'd like to see it keep going. But check it out, guys. This tweet comes out last month out of the Ghost of Hope, and just for my sanity, right, my mental health, I decided to just block this out. Like I said, MW 2019 Part 4 will eventually make its way to the Call of Duty community, and this tweet comes out from the Ghost of Hope, which in my opinion, is a cause for concern. Now, he comes out here and says, DMZ returns as the third game mode in COD 2026. And then he comes out with this as well. He says, what I am hearing so far about the current plans for DMZ with COD 2026. It will have its own maps and a dedicated forked version of Warzone's engine. It's gonna share a map set with Ground War instead of Warzone, and they're currently debating whether to make it PvE or PvPvE or both. Now, I know there's some people out there that actually genuinely like DMZ. In my personal opinion, not a fan of it whatsoever. Arguably, it's one of the worst third modes I've ever played in my entire goddamn life. All I'm trying to state right here is the fact that DMZ is already proven, in my eyes, to be a failure of a third game mode. And the fact that they have so many different things they could have done, whether it's the aliens from the extinction mode from Ghosts, or they could just do the zombies route, or Spec Ops, or they could do whatever else, you know, create something different. The fact they're going back to DMZ, which was directly tied to one of the worst Call of Duty experiences of all goddamn time, to me, it kind of spells disaster, despite the Ghost of Hope eventually coming out and saying this as well. The biggest thing to take away from this is that they're very much not repeating MW 2019 Part 2's mistakes.
Cap.
And are separating Warzone and DMZ for both communities' sake. Now, to the gooch slickers out there, the taint eater, the ball grippers out there, the pube pluckers out there, you know, a lot of people think I have absolutely nothing positive to say about Call of Duty whatsoever. That is not the case. Here's a positive for you right now, the fact that they're separating Warzone and DMZ from the map pools. I think it's extremely lazy when they pull maps out of Warzone as POIs, hence why so many of the maps in MW 2019 Part 2 and Black Ops 6 are garbage, so that's a good thing. And the other positive thing about this Call of Duty in particular is the fact that I don't need to play it. That's right, guys. I don't think I'm going to play Modern Warfare 2019 Part 4. You know why? Because the last 3 entries of this new reboot of MW have all been god-awful. Let me start from the top down. MW 2019 Part 3, despite how many people actually enjoy it, 1, it's not developed by Infinity Ward, and 2, it's literally just a patched up version, a final draft copy of MW 2019 Part 2. It's literally just a sped up version that makes sense and is not ran by a bunch of stupid, moronic, regular-sized bus-riding intellectuals. It's ran by Sledgehammer Games that got the biggest humbling of lifetime after Vanguard. So yeah, that's the best one, but it doesn't really count in the continuity of Modern Warfare Rebooted. Then we have MW 2019 Part 1 and Part 2. Both of these games, in my opinion, are at the very bottom of the barrel of Call of Duty experiences.
A 2-pack of ass!
And I know there's a lot of MW 2019 fans out there, but as I have coined the term, this was the start of the dark ages of Call of Duty. Every single horrible decision that we see here in Call of Duty, whether it's the battle pass or seasonal content or the developers not listening to the community for the sake of monetized content, all of that stuff. Modern Warfare 2019 is the pioneer of that, and MW 2019 Part 2 was supposed to be the version that they learned their mistakes from, but as we know, that's not the goddamn case whatsoever. So for there to be a Modern Warfare 2019 Part 4 developed by Infinity Ward, yeah, not exciting news whatsoever. In fact, it's some of the most god-awful news I've ever heard in my entire life. And that's no exaggeration, guys. Nowadays, the Scadmaster likes living in peace despite what I run on my content. Hearing that COD 2026 is essentially about to be a rehash of MW 2019 Part 2, yeah, count me out. I don't think I'm gonna be playing that, and I really do hope that God has mercy on the soul of every single other person that decides to play that nonsensical garbage when it does come out. And before I get to reminding some people out there why Infinity Ward is arguably worse than Treyarch here in Black Ops 6, let me just show you an example of somebody who is mentally ill, okay? Somebody who has lost their marbles, somebody who is not here with us, at least not on the same mental playing field as the rest of us. Guys, we got the homie J-Rock now. This guy, if he knows who I am, he probably abhors me, okay? He probably really dislikes me.
You tripping, bro. You tripping.
And I don't dislike him in the slightest, but if it weren't for YouTube and their censorship and how bad they dislike me, I would not be saying J-Rock deserves 100% of his human rights, especially not with tweets like this. I'm just out here waiting for COD 2026 by Infinity Ward.
You what?
What? What are you talking about, bro? Nobody's liked this post. It has 0 likes. Oh, but this is when I knew we were doomed, guys. This is the moment that I knew this game is bound to fail by the exact same terms that all of these other Call of Duties fail with. We see the meme every single year, and maybe he's trolling, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, I don't think he's trolling. I think he genuinely means this. He comes out here and says, COD 2026 will be the best modern Call of Duty multiplayer title. Shut the f- Oh, J-Rock, you are being spared by YouTube today, my guy. I'm not gonna lie. I bite my tongue today, but trust me when I say this man is about to be sent somewhere very special. Definitely, positively not Epstein Island. I know it's an early call, guys, but I can already see it from years in advance. When this game starts getting hyped up eventually, because as we know, Black Ops 6 is arguably already dead. Okay, I don't foresee this game getting any better whatsoever. But next year's title is literally just a continuation of this game, also in part with a sequel of Black Ops 2 from a decade ago, except with this horrible new version of Call of Duties that are being developed by Activision and whoever these new developer guys are. I really wouldn't be surprised to hear people talk about COD 2026 very early on in advance. So when that time occurs and people start gassing up the next title, talking about oh, I missed the Modern Warfare series, or talking about, oh my god, I love Infinity Ward. It's time to reveal the exact moment that Infinity Ward lost the community's trust. You see guys, as I mentioned earlier, MW 2019, despite being a cult classic to a lot of people, you know, a lot of people have a soft spot for this game. They think it's the revival of Call of Duty. Huh? I heavily disagree. I'm not saying it's the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life, but in video game form, it's up there, man. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, MW 2019 proved to everybody that Infinity Ward was not here for the community. They were here for this new form of Call of Duty with the agenda and purpose of monetizing everything and getting people to purchase more at the expense of the quality of the game. That being said, one of the biggest pieces of criticism we had for MW 2019 was what? It was the horribly designed maps, Dead Silence not being available as a perk, and the red dots on the minimap.
Police! Help! Help!
Now fast forward to MW 2019 and I strictly remember so many people talking about Infinity Ward learned from their mistakes. And yet when MW 2019 Part 2's beta came out and we gave them the exact same feedback that we gave them so many years ago, talking about, hey, maybe you should get the red dots back on the minimap because that's been an essential key component of Call of Duty for literally forever, they came back with this. Currently in the MW 2019 Part 2 beta, we only show enemy player dots when the UAV is active. The design reason for this is that we do not want to punish players for firing their weapons. We also want players to actively search out the origin of a gunshot versus just traveling directly to where the dot is on the minimap. We continue to gather feedback on how the game is playing in regards to this topic. And if that's not bad enough, they also talked about Dead Silence back then when they said, Dead Silence is another hot topic as many players have expressed that they would like to see it as a perk instead of a field upgrade. We believe it is important to game health that rushers are not able to move at high speeds without consequence. Dead Silence as a field upgrade creates a balance between freedom of movement and predictability of combat. In other words, just nonsense. If you suck at the game, if you are a gooch licker, if you're somebody that see how this all ties in. If you're somebody who purchases BLACKCELL and all these battle passes and bundles and microtransactions and collaborations, what do we think about you? We think you shoot hurricanes. I personally think you have an accuracy percentage of like 0.000004. Just absolutely god-awful. So it's no wonder that Infinity Ward and Activision are on this whole thing about protecting the noobs. That's been Infinity Ward's thing since the jump. And when MW 2019 Part 4 inevitably comes out, you guys think they just had a change of heart all of a sudden? No, because despite how god-awful both of these games are, all Activision seems to care about is the amount of money that they can generate out of the players, out of the gooch lickers, the community. And truth be told, both of those games, 2019 and 2019 Part 2, are some of the best-selling Call of Duties of all time. You hate to see it, and they've generated millions upon millions, potentially even billions of dollars. And as long as Infinity Ward has the keys to that title, it's about to be a lot of the exact same slop that we saw so many years ago. And despite the movement changes that we've had over the last few years of COD, especially with Omni movement recently, do I see Infinity Ward really trying to adopt that while allowing things like red dots on the minimap and Dead Silence as a perk and so many other things that people who actually move and don't have their ball sacks stapled into the corners of every single map can use to their advantage, you know, as every single Call of Duty player can and has been doing since the beginning of Call of Duty, as long as they're still on this whole like, oh, we need to protect noobs for the sake of money. Yeah, this game is about to fall victim to the exact same horrific design of the past two Infinity Ward titles. And am I excited for that? Absolutely the flying absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think I'd rather eat my own scrotum before playing MW 2019 Part 4. Ugh, just a disgusting title. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about all this. What are your thoughts on the inevitable MW 2019 Part 4 in the future? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos. And yeah, guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Peace.
This ain't in my body.